So finally, about something about this mercy killing and euthanasia,
Yes.
that aspect also, if you can give a little sharing, it will be good on the value of life.
Yes, as we have discussed, we are looking at the life from the very beginning to the very end. And for me, because I'm working in internal medicine, and internal medicine is very much geriatrics, which means we are dealing with a lot of old people, especially in Germany, because we have the life expectancy is high in Germany, so people get very old. This question that you asked me, that you posed me, is very relevant. And we have a lot of activity in Germany right now. It was a constant subject with my students. And right now, unfortunately, we have the worst of all legislation in Germany. What means the worst of all legislation? Well, the worst of all legislation believes that self-determination is the only regulation for people at the end of their life, and therefore the society, there's actually a majority of the society in Germany believes that you have a right to die, and if you want to exercise your right to life, you should not have any. There should be no threshold to that. That should be free. Even more, you should have assistance. You should have assistance if you decide to end your life. The society in that particular situation, the doctors should help you, should assist you in suicide. So that's now legislation. And we call it in Germany assisted suicide, although it's euthanasia. That's again a matter of the terms, because in Germany, if you would now say, well, it only took 70 years and now we have a legislation towards euthanasia again, people would be a little bit worried. So the politicians made a strong point, the politician and the judges made a strong point out of a difference between euthanasia and assisted suicide. There is no difference. We are talking about euthanasia. So what's the problem of euthanasia? Well, again, it's the respect for the gift of life. The life is given to us, and the life is going to be taken from us. And yes, it's us, but it's a gift. It's a gift that we have to cherish. And who would possibly destroy a gift? Who would do that? You would cherish that gift. You would be thankful. It's a funny attitude that you would throw away a gift. That would be a very odd kind of behavior. But euthanasia is throwing away the gift of life. And there are many, one has to understand, of course, that people think about ending their life. That's very understandable. We all perhaps have thought something, oh, that's too much. Now, I can't stand that anymore. And I'm, as a medical doctor, on my rounds, I have that almost every day. My patients tell me, look, doctor, you want to help me, but stop it. Come tomorrow and kill me. It's too much for me. So that's very natural. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is wrong is that you then leave the room. If somebody tells you, please, I'm so desperate, I want to end your life, then what you do as a medical doctor, well, you sit next to that patient and say, hey, so what's happening? Is it the pain? Is it you can't breathe anymore? You are afraid that the pain is getting too big to stand? Or is it your family? And then you get to the point, what we call palliative medicine. That means that to use that term, to kill the pain and not the patient. We want to help the patient, and to kill a patient is by no means any assistance. So there's an odd kind of idea of the right to die. And for a medical doctor, I cannot possibly understand how a medical doctor could ever get to the point to really kill a patient intentionally. But again, we have discussed that in another context. You may actually get into that situation. You are a young doctor, you are not prepared, and then perhaps in your unit this kind of situation exists, and then all of a sudden you have done it once. And so that's a similar situation, and we have to educate, we have to be very, very clear that all of us, especially the pastoral care, needs to be there to help people in need, especially the old people that are in their dying phase. They need to have the sacraments, they need to have the trust, they need to have the family around, and then this is the way we want all of us, and we want our neighbors and our patients to die. And we have to shout, that's another thing, as you say, we have to tell people, watch it, this is wrong, this is wrong, there is no right to die. Please don't do it. If you do it once as a medical doctor, then you are in it. It's a bit like the mafia. If you have done it once, then you can't get out of it. Please don't do it. I tell that to my students and to the relatives and the doctors. Please help the patient. Please take your time. The dying phase is a very important phase of our life. You know, I have learned so much of people that I have seen dying. I was sitting next to them. They even if you don't talk, you learn so much about your own life. It's such an important phase of our life, the dying phase.